Good morning, everybody. Moving forward, I want to talk about foundations of civilizations. So, what makes a civilization? Okay, so we talked about the Paleolithic period and a little bit about the Mesolithic. Now we're moving into the Neolithic period, which means New Stone Age. And it's titled this because of a change in tools. So, during the Neolithic period, it was 10,000 BC until the end of prehistory. During this time, there was a big increase in technology, so daily life had a dramatic change. And because of that increase in technology, there was a surplus of food now, which previously they had never had. So they never had any stored food or anything. It was always you had to go out and get your meal today. Now they're learning how to store it, and they're learning how to gather more, so they have a surplus of it, which means extra food. And because of this, they had more free time. So they started farming more and they domesticated animals. So they started raising animals to eat as well. Because they started farming, they settled in permanent villages. So the effects of settling. Obviously, people had more property. They owned land, they owned certain fields. And this is where we sort of see differences in wealth or social class. Maybe one person's yield is higher, maybe one person has more land than the other. And that's where this difference in social class starts. Over time, they had more time because of this surplus and they were farming, so they developed even more tools, even more technologies to help them out. And they also had now a reason to care about what time of the year it was, or sort of a calendar. They had farming seasons that when their plants worked and when they grew and when they were ready to be harvested. So this is the first time that we see them sort of pay attention to calendars. The beginnings of civilization. Earliest civilizations to develop were all near major rivers. And that's because the land was a lot more fertile. They had water. They had more resources. Like I said, it provided water, transportation, food. It was good for farming. Villages grew bigger and larger. Surplus food was able to withstand population growth. And from this, you're going to have cities start to develop. So what makes a civilization? First off, you need to have organized governments, council of elders, maybe it's a democracy like we have, some system of government. Complex religions, maybe it's believing in multi-gods, polytheism, or maybe it's one god, but there is a belief in afterlife. Job specialization, artisans, merchants, maybe you have farmers, maybe you have hunters, maybe you have carpenters, those who build houses. Social classes, which we talked about, that different wealth that emerged. So you have priest, merchant, artisan, peasants. There's like a hierarchy of who's who, basically. Arts and architecture, buildings that are going to represent your culture, art that's going to represent your specific culture. And lastly, public works. So that would be like ways to irrigate your farm, roads, maybe defense walls, things like that. Okay, so, and lastly but not least, writing. So maybe it's pictures like we saw in the caves, maybe it's scribes, maybe it's written journals, something of that sort. Okay, so that is it for Foundations of Civilization, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.